Hey, what's going on, guys? Tim Avery here at Visual Testaments, VTTV, Global Prophetic News. Look, guys, have you guys seen this? This is concerning, for one. If you guys saw live earlier today with Donna and I, we were on live earlier talking about how today is the National Voters Day, Voters Registration Day, National Voters Registration Day. Excuse me. You guys, if you've not seen the latest polls, I'm going to show them here in just a second. But I know we talked about how 45 million Christians did not vote last time, didn't even vote. 15 million not even registered to vote. Okay. Now, some of you may say, well, you know what? My vote's not going to count. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to change it. Or I don't like any of the candidates, so I'm not going to vote because none of them are Jesus Christ, so I'm not going to vote in this election. Okay, let me just tell you this. Okay, when I show you this, hopefully this will change your mind. Okay, like I talked about earlier in the live earlier today. You know, if we don't make a stand somewhere, if we don't look at each of these candidates and see which one closely resembles our values as Christians, and we vote for that person versus the other person, then we're more than likely the person that we really don't want in office is going to get in office. And I know you're just like, well, that's not really necessary. Well, it's true. Okay, it's very true. You know, when we're ruled by oppressors, you know, we're gonna complain and grumble. But if we have somebody who is righteous in office, we're going to rejoice. That's what the scripture says. And I think that was in Proverbs 29:7. I think earlier today we talked about that. But I'm going to show you these poll numbers. Okay, this was on Fox and this is on CNN. Okay, so they're both saying the same thing, how close this race is. So I'm going to show you this to you, and hopefully
new poll in Pennsylvania.
When I show this to you, you're going to be like, oh, okay, I really need to go to the polls and make sure I'm registered, because that's the goal of this video, is to show you that you really need to register. You really need to vote in this election, because if you don't, I'm telling you, our country is it's going to be in a really bad place. If you're groaning and complaining now about the current administration's policies and the way they've been running our gas prices up, the way they've been running our groceries up, the way that inflation's up, we can't afford a house, all those things. If those things are concerning for you, let me tell you, if we don't make a stand now as Christians, then we don't know what our country's going to go to. Okay, if you look at her policies, you're going to know exactly where they're going to go to. You know, men playing in women's sports. Do you like that? Do you like having all this alphabet community stuff in our society to where they're overtaking and teaching all of our kids crazy stuff at an early age, kindergarten, preschool? If you like that type of stuff, you like this gender ideology stuff, you need to make a stand right now. You like all this abortion stuff that they've been fighting and stuff like that in Congress and in the Senate. Do you like all that stuff? Are you groaning and complaining about those things? Here, let me show you. Let me show you this. I'm sorry I'm fired up about this, but I am, because our country is in dire need of the 45 million Christians who did not vote last year. They need to stand up and rise up and vote, and not just complain about things, but also use their voice and vote to make it count.
New poll in Pennsylvania, Harris at 49, Trump at 46. I would take note of this right here. Margin of error, 4.4%. And that means this race in Pennsylvania, according to this polling now, is still a flat out tie. Here are the battleground states that we see: Carolina, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Wisconsin, Nevada, and Arizona. We changed it last week. It hasn't changed as of this week. Pop on out here.
I'm gonna pause just for a half a second, but he's gonna show you what happened last presidential cycles with Biden and Trump, and with Trump and Hillary Clinton in those 2016 and 2020 elections. So pay attention to this.
Show you why Pennsylvania is so important. Then I'm going to give you a quick little 270 map to find out how each campaign most easily succeeds. So Trump in North Carolina wins it by 1.4 percentage points, 74,481 votes. wins North Carolina. Okay, go back to 2016 against Hillary Clinton. His margin was 177,529 votes, 3.8 percentage points. We talked about this last week. Biden did better in 2020 than Hillary Clinton did in 2016. He drove up his numbers in the urban areas and he reduced the margin in rural areas, and that's why it got closer, but still not good enough for Joe Biden 4 years ago. Now, here we go on the path to 270, okay? Going to set up your little panel coming up here in a moment. As it stands today, Donald Trump's easiest path to victory to go back to the White House is pretty simple. If you're at 219 here, you win North Carolina and hold that state. You flip Georgia and you flip Pennsylvania, and boom, you're at 270.
Now, if you're in those states and you're a Christian and you have not registered to vote, you need to do so ASAP. You need to do so ASAP, because if you don't, go look at her policies and compare them to his policy. And you tell me which of these two candidates would you prefer to run your country in the next 4 years? Which one? Okay. Which one of those two candidates? You know, if you're unsure who to vote for, you know what? Pick the lesser of two evils then. Do some research, register to vote, and look and see which one of these two candidates lines up more closely to my beliefs, my stance as a Christian. And don't just put your head in the sand. This season is not the season to do that. You can't just, none of those candidates are anything I like. This is not the time to do that, y'all. We can't afford that as a country to do that. And really, literally cannot afford to do that. If you can't afford groceries now, you can't afford your gas prices. If you like inflation, you don't want any of that stuff to happen. You like the way our borders are open right now. We got millions and millions of people flooding into our country. And you like all that stuff? All these people coming to the country, eating off of our tax dollars. This is the current administration's policy, by the way. If you prefer to have a wall between Mexico and the United States, who do you think is going to put that wall there? Who do you think is going to leave that wall open? Make your decision. I'll continue to watch this. Let's continue to hear.
Take these off the board and let's go to Kamala Harris and her campaign. Her easiest path as of now at 225 is to win Wisconsin, win Michigan, hold Pennsylvania, and then take Nebraska 2 out there, and she is at 270. That's as simple as we can do it. Who knows what happens on the 5th of November? Dana, back to you.
I love all of those maps. Thank you. And Tom Bevan, Real Clear Politics founder, Carly Cooperman, CEO of Schoen Cooperman Research, join me now. I want to play for you something from Harry Enton. He's one of the pollsters over at CNN. He says Harris is in the danger zone. Watch here.
Listen to this.
Right now, Harris is right now in that danger zone where basically about half the time, given that popular vote margin nationally, she would win. We could be heading towards one of these splits that we saw in 2016 and in 2000, whereby one candidate, Kamala Harris, wins in the popular vote, loses in the Electoral College. Basically, at this hour, we're right in that sort of weird middle zone where we honestly don't know what's going to happen.
Tom, do you know what's going to happen? I'm just kidding. Tell me where you think things are right.
So again, y'all, put in the comments below if you have registered to vote, if you're ready to go. Just give me a fire emoji. You're ready to go. You're ready to stand for your country, and you've taken on the responsibility, not just the right to vote, but you've taken on the responsibility to vote in this election. You know, if you're my Christian brothers and sisters and you're watching this and you're not registered to vote, you're like, I'm not going to vote because my vote doesn't matter. I'm telling you right now, as close as this race is today, as close as this race is projected to be, your voice, your vote will matter. It will count. And it's almost shameful for us Christians. I'm gonna put myself in there too. For us Christians to not vote for the presidential election, and then turn around and complain about what's going on in our country. When we had an opportunity, and we have it right now, we've had an opportunity to vote. We have an opportunity right now to change the tide, the course, the trajectory of our country right now. So I'm registered to vote. I'm ready to vote. I don't care where I am. I am voting. Okay. And you need to vote. November 5th, you need to vote. You need to cast your vote. Your voice matters. We need you. We need you as a Christian brother and sister to lock arms with us, to help protect our country, to turn around these crazy things that are going on. Do you like men's would you think about this? Would you want your little daughter to go to the bathroom and then have a man dressed up in some mop on his head and to go to the bathroom with her? Because that's where that's going. I promise you that's where they're going with that. Do you want your kids to be taught about the alphabet community's policies and things like that they do in your kids' high school, in your kids' middle school, in your kids' elementary school, in your kids' kindergarten classes? Do you want that? Because they're going to continue to push that agenda. I'm telling you right now, they're going to continue to push that agenda. Do you want them to overturn Roe v. Wade? Do you want them to reinstate Roe v. Wade? Because that's what they want to do. That's what Kamala Harris said that she would do. I would just overturn Roe v. Wade. Do you want to continue to have these people flood into our country on the southern border? People from all over the place, not just Mexico, people from all over the country, all over the world are flooding into our country. We don't even know who's in our, we don't know all these undocumented people in our country right now. Terrorists, I'm sure. We don't know. Could be a strong possibility, especially with Venezuela opening other prisons and sending them over here. And Venezuela's doing well with their crime rates has dropped. Why? Because we're all here. I mean, you see what's going on in Colorado. Do you like that? Do you like what's going on in Colorado? Do you think that could have been prevented with a wall that would have been, finished if Trump was in office? He would have finished that wall. We don't have any of these problems. Are you concerned about Israel being attacked? Do you think Kamala Harris cares? If she did, we would be doing something about it right now, but we're not. Our policies, her policy, I'll say it like this, it won't even allow them to defend themselves. She says they will, but they're not, but they're going to defend themselves anyway. So don't get me wrong on that. But that's her policy. She doesn't like Israel. She wants a two-state solution with Palestine and Israel. You know where that's going to go. So do your research, okay? This is not the time to sit on the sidelines and just hope for the best and pray for the best. Yes, pray, but use your vote, use your voice to make a difference for our country. We need you. We need the 45 million Christians who sat on the sideline and did nothing and didn't vote at all last year. Or sorry, not last year, but last presidential cycle. Did nothing. We can't do that this year. We can't afford to do that, y'all. Come on. Go register to vote. Today was National Voters Registration Day. Today's the day to do it. Up until the election day, you need to go register to vote. Today is not the time, y'all. It is not the time. Not the time. Go vote. All right. Put in the comments below who's registered to vote. Are you already registered? Are you ready to go? Who are you voting for? Why are you voting for the person you're voting for? It's critical. Share with your community. Share with people that you work with. Share with the people that you're in community with. Make sure that they're registered to vote. That time of a decision at church when the pastor usually asks that person and says at that time of decision, hey, you need to go down there and give your life to Christ? You need to do the same thing right now. You need to make sure your neighbors, your friends, your close circle of influences are all registered to vote and are ready to vote, to make a stand, y'all. We got to make a stand. It is not the season to sit in the sidelines, nor is it ever, in my opinion, but especially now. Now's not the time, y'all. I love you guys. Let me see some of these comments we got going on here in the chat. Please, y'all. Okay. You can register to vote online. It's not too late. Now's the time to do it. Mary, if you know nothing about politics, that doesn't give us an excuse. Do some research. It does. Just go to the campaign website. You can go to KamalaHarris.com. You can go to Trump.com and look at their presidential stuff. It'll give you everything that their policies stand on. Okay. And I'll just tell you this right now. If you don't know anything, that's fine. Just look at what they're doing. Look at the last, if you watched the debate, you didn't watch the debate, that's fine. Just go look at their websites. Look at KamalaHarris.com, look at Trump.com, whatever. Look at their campaign websites. It'll list what their policies are, what they will do. If you're for the Second Amendment, just let you know Kamala Harris, she's not for the Second Amendment. As much as she says she is, she's not coming for your guns. She's putting a mandatory ban on several different weapons, for our country. And she will institute a buyback program. If you haven't seen that video that I did, go look at my buyback video that I did about that. And she said it several times that she will institute a mandatory gun buyback program into our country. And that's just a confiscation of weapons. Okay, listen to what she says about abortion. If you don't know anything about politics, what do you what do you want for your country? Do you just ask those questions to yourself? What do you want for your country? Do you want open borders? Do you like that? Okay, if you don't like that, Kamala Harris is for that. So that doesn't line up to what you want. So that's an X mark for you on Kamala Harris. Is Trump for building a wall and having controlled immigration process of people who want to go into the country? They can do that. There's a due process. They can still come to our country, but there's a process they need to do that. If you're for that, then that's a check mark for Trump. That's where you want to go. If you're for abortion, and you want late-term abortion, and you're like, yeah, I want to support late-term abortion, then Kamala Harris is one for you. But if you don't want to support late-term abortions, you don't want to do abortion at all, then Trump is probably a better pick for you. Okay, it's that simple. Just look at their policies. You don't have to know about politics. What do you want for your country? Better question you need to ask yourself. What do you want for your country? Do you want to be safe when you walk out in the streets? And having open borders doesn't make me feel really safe, because if I don't have an idea of who's walking next to me, because they could have just came to the border last week, and they could be some terrorists from freaking Iran or from somewhere, want to burn a flag and behead somebody, cause a ruckus, overtake a apartment complex in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado. Did you see all those Venezuelan gangs taking over a whole apartment complex? Does that make you feel safe? Did that happen under Trump's administration, or did that happen under Kamala administration? That's nothing political. That's just common sense. Do you want that? I don't want that. I want to make sure that when my wife goes somewhere to the grocery store or anywhere in the country, anywhere in the U.S., that she ain't gonna have a problem. But I can't say that if we have open borders and people just running free, they're undocumented. If they do some crime, and who's going to hold them down? But they don't even know who they are. Did you see what they did in Colorado? They robbed a jewelry store with no face covering. Their face is all up in the camera. They can't apprehend these guys. Why? Because they don't know who these people are. They don't know who these people are coming into our country. Now, if that gives you the warm and fuzz and you're all good with that, then Kamala Harris is clearly your choice. If that's the kind of country you could see yourself and your kids and your family living in, and you're okay with that, Kamala Harris is your vote, because that's exactly what she's doing right now. Kamala Harris is the border czar, meaning she was put into power to manage the border crisis down there when those guys got in office. And what did she do? She just left it wide open. People coming in there, she giving them money, giving them amnesty, making some of these states in our country amnesty places, refuge places, and giving them money, putting them up in hotels, using, and that's not coming out of her pocket. That's coming out of all our pockets. People that we don't even know. We don't even take care of our veterans as well as we should. We don't even take care of the homeless the way we should, our own homeless. And you got people coming from all over the freaking world into our country, and she's putting them up in hotels, giving them, thousands of dollars a month to live off of while they're here trying to establish themselves in the United States. Now, there's something dang wrong with that. Now, if that's the type of administration you want for the next 4 years, then yeah, Kamala Harris is your clear choice. That's nothing to politics. That's just opening your eyes to see what's going on in our country right now. Now, is that something that you want? Hey, that's your clear choice. But if you understood from 2016 to 2020, life was a lot better. Our inflation was down. Our prices were down. Our debt was coming down. I felt a lot safer because there was a wall going up between here and Mexico. People were actually getting vetted. Every country respected us when Trump was in office. That's the kind of administration, a strong administration that I want to support and to be in charge of our country right now. And do you remember what happened with Kim Jong-un when he was firing off all those rockets when Trump got into office? And all of a sudden, Trump went over to South Korea to meet Kim Jong-un right there at the North Korea border, stepped into North Korea, did that. You think Joe Biden did that? No. You think Kamala Harris is going to do that? No. He squashed the squabashi on Rocket Boy over there. That's the type of strong leadership we need in our country right now. Okay, that's the type of strong leadership we need in our country right now, where countries actually respect us. You know, Putin would never have invaded Ukraine. Never would have done it if Trump was in office, because he knows better. But with this weak leadership we gotten right now, I'm going to try to take over Ukraine. That's just Putin. Let's walk on in there. And guess what? And this is no shocker, but I want you guys to think about this. You know, Putin is, if I could find that video, I would, but, you know, Putin is all for Kamala Harris winning this election. Think about that. Why? Because they ain't going to stop him. He's going to continue on with this war in Ukraine. And Kamala Harris ain't going to stop him. Because Kamala Harris has no idea what's going on. She don't even know her own policies. Don't even know what to stand for. Back and forth. Her policy don't even know what she really stands for. She'll say anything. She'll say anything to get into office. Say anything, and that's evident. If you watch that video I made, go look at my YouTube channel. I made a video about Kamala Harris and what she stands for, because she has no idea what she stands for. So anyway, this video is getting long, but let me just tell you guys this. Make sure you guys go out and vote. If you're Christians, I'm telling you right now, think about that. 45 million people had the same thought. You know what? My vote's not going to count. I'm not going to vote. I'm not going to vote. We can't afford that this time around, y'all. Can't do it. Can't do it. 15 million Christians are not even registered to vote. But don't let that be one of y'all. Use your voice. Make it heard. Make sure you vote. Make sure you vote. 45 million people can overturn this election for the good. Put the right people in place. Make our country great again. I'll say it like that. It'll make our country great again. Inflation will come down magically. Countries will respect us. We'll close our border. Our inflation will come down. Gas prices will come down. Food prices will come down. Why? Because the person that I believe will do a better job out of the two is a businessman, and he proved himself in 2016, and I believe he will prove himself again, because I want you guys to think about this, especially if you guys are like, I don't really like Trump. I don't like his attitude. You know what? We need a strong leader right now. We need a strong leader right now. We need a strong businessman right now in our country. We are so strong. We are so far in debt. It's ridiculous. This man doesn't even have to run for president. You know, he escaped 2 assassination attempts. Why do you think they want to kill this guy? He doesn't need this job for power. He's got plenty of it. He doesn't need this job for money. He's got plenty of it. Why do you think they're going to kill him, or trying to kill him? Because they're scared of him. They can't control him. They can't buy him. He loves this. He truly loves this country. Truly loves this country. Think about the things that he's doing. Why would somebody who has billions of dollars want to run for president? For power? He's got power. Money? He's got money. Did you know that when President Trump was in office, his presidential earnings, he donated all of it. Donated all of his presidential earnings, $400,000 a year. Donated it. He didn't need the money. He loves this country, y'all. And if you're buying the notion that he's in this for himself, think about that. If you got shot at twice now, would you continue to do the thing that you were doing that people would want to shoot you for if you weren't serious about it? Probably not. This guy's dedicated. To me, that proves that he's dedicated about making this country great again. He's got my vote. He's still running for president. Two assassination attempts. Still running for president. He can't be controlled. These people, who the powers that be, who are controlling, I'm gonna say they're controlling Kamala and Joe Biden. I don't even know where he is right now. Controlling Biden. They are afraid of losing the power that they have, because they have none when Trump's in office. They've got no power over him. They can't control him. They can't buy him. If you don't know anything about politics, just think about that. Why would you try to kill somebody twice if they weren't a threat? Okay, think about that. Anyway, all right, this is getting long. All right, guys, I love you. Hope you guys get some value out of this. Like, subscribe if you're on our YouTube channel. Follow us on our YouTube channel, Visual Testaments. Follow us there if you're following us. If you're tuning in from Facebook or Instagram, if you're on YouTube, hit that like, subscribe button, share this video, comment on this video, vote. That's the biggest message I want you guys. You saw how close this race is between the two candidates right now. Your voice, your vote will matter. I promise you that, y'all. Go register and vote if you hadn't registered, and let's make this country better. All right, guys, I love you. See you guys. Bye for now.